Alright, next build up. We're going to do some forks like this. For something like this. So we're going to have to build ourselves a little notch like this. You know, bracket, cradle, something like this. Something that goes down like this and has locking pins in it. So I'm just over here to get a good idea on this piece of equipment to see how I'm going to build it. It's massive. Just trying to capture it all. This is how I need to build it. Just like this. Alright, so we were going to do these big forks. We decided not to. Because these are like kind of made for going on a really tall bucket with a blade. I mean with a bucket, duh. But so I'm just going to steal this bar. Okay, so now I'm figuring out some stuff for my forks here. So I'm figuring out the actual frame that it goes into. So that'll be a square tube, and I'll have plates on the side, plate in the middle, and I'll have the forks inside of there, so that way they can slide all the way to that point. And I'll make it just under 7 foot, so that way I can get my tighteners on the outside of that bar sticking through them. And like I said, these will be plates, that'll be a plate, and then I made a custom so here was my template I had made a template, but it was just kind of just get me in the ballpark. So that's what the piece is gonna look like. 1-inch plate. So I cut me this piece here, my little hole there, and that's what will attach to the forks. Tried to follow the contour of what it's going to be, and I'm undecided if I'm going to cut that 2 inches off or if I'm going to leave it long. I'm going to set it up on there and determine then. What I do first is I get these 2 double bars put together, and I'll lay out a stitch powder and stitch these together, but I don't want them to banana quite yet, so I'll weld them a little bit later. But right now the main thing is getting them tacked together and making their flush for the side, and you'll see what I'm using it for. I'm just working with what I got, so you'll see. Now I'm going to go ahead and just clean these up a little bit with a flapper on the top, since I'm not going to really be handling much of that when I'm done. But that's just the part that sits against the tractor equipment. Okay, so I jumped up on my table to pick those up and set those on top of it. I laid it out, so that's pretty much like the top. Now I got this double bar here, that'll stay there. That one down there will go away because I just need 1 bar on the bottom. But that's how I'll set it up. Alright, that's where I'm at right now. You know, seems like it's gonna work. That's just where I'm at now. So this bar isn't gonna be here, it's gonna be here. So that way it'll be 2 bars stacked this way. So that one will stay stacked like that, and then this one will have 1 stacked here. You'll see. I'm just trying to kind of, you know, showcase it. So a little upgrade. So I got my sidebars on here now. I had to cut these. I'll now weld these on here, and then I got a middle plate right there that'll go in here. but so it's 1 inch, 1/4 inch, 3/4, 1/2 inch. Yep. And of course I'll probably put some plates over it, and then I'll see what I'm going to do for gussets. Alright, here's another look at it. I'm starting to get it all tacked off and prepped, ready to weld out. I've pulled out you can now see my double stack bars up here, my 2 flat ones there. Now I'm going to sink in my middle bar that separates it, and then I'll have to put a hole through all of them and then just weld it all out and then slide the bar in there. Should be good. Alright, so I decided to jump up here and do the flat welds real quick, show you the flat welds. And the overhead, their overhead weld, give it a little bit of style to it on that whoop-de-wham. Nothing to brag about. But yeah, maybe Pulse Mode decides, I don't know, I might flip it and do it flat. Do that overhead, we'll see. Alright, here's the other side top that I just did. There's the bottom. Totally wasn't thinking about it, but started those ones in the middle. Needed to start on the end, drag it to the middle, and then finish it to the end. Oh well. Well, it definitely was pushing some gas through there. It's not argon. It's an argon gauge though. Anyways, got it all welded out now. All I'm going to do now is just kind of round my corners off on the top. I might lay it down and put stitch weld right there in the morning. That's it. Other than that, I'm done welding it out. It's good to go. Just got to cut holes in it. Cut the holes in this plate, the middle plate, and that end plate. Slide the bar in, slide the forks on. It's ready to go. Yeah, I'll definitely put a weld from there to there and a weld from there to there in the morning. And then I'll cut my hole here, cut my hole in that, cut my hole in there, slide my pin in, put my fork on, slide my pin in, put my fork on, slide them in, lock them in on the ends, and then it's ready to put on that piece of equipment. I'm not going to paint it, but maybe they'll paint it. Alright, last stage of the game. Laid those out. The last one I'm going to lay it out real quick. Then we're going to cut our holes and then clean them up. And here's a little tip. You probably see it all the time, still humming. Smacking it. But I punch it all the way around it, because you know when you fire up sometimes that smoke cloud will do that, and if you wipe it away you'll be able to see them little punches in there. So I didn't lay this side out because I laid this side out. As you can see, put a bunch of little punches around my circle. Remember, it's your job, so you gotta make sure you do it right. And the way I laid it out like this, and the reason I did this was so that way I didn't guess. That way it was perfect this time. Alright, so my bar fit through my first time. Looks like my holes lined up, just barely. So here we are to the final stages. I put it on, man, it fit good. First try, it's slapped in there. The pin's locked. It's got pins that lock. It's got lots of clearance. It's sturdy, it ain't going nowhere. Now it's time to put the forks on it. Call it done. That's what it was for. Yep. Alright. Put the forks on. Got the little tighteners on the side. It's ready to pick up now and go home to its customer. Thank you guys for staying tuned. You need one built, hit me up. Just a bunch of wire welding. I'm going to wire wheel it. Bunch of welding. Looks good. My fork's in action here. Finally got Pablo over here. Yeah, so they're gonna work good. She's a beauty.